mental health, I think, is one of those things that, should be talked about much more than it is. And I think a lot of the reason for that is because people don't really know how to talk about it. It's still something that's uncomfortable and unknown. And that's, very understandable. And I think it was clear to me that the intent behind this was, hopefully educating people, but also doing so in a compelling way and making a good movie in the process. I knew going in, if I were gonna play this character and be a part of making this movie, I needed to know for myself that I really did everything in terms of research and in terms of trying to understand what this experience is like that I possibly could. And so then that really started, of course, having conversations with Tor and kind of understanding the process he had already begun for himself, and looping myself into that somewhat, and then doing some of my own research. And he actually connected me to this psychiatrist who specializes in working with young men who have been recently diagnosed with schizophrenia, and getting to talk to that guy then at length about the what the experience of having a psychotic break is like, what the experience of psychosis is like for the first time for somebody, how long it takes to understand these things, and then also in turn, what his patients also are just kind of in the midst of in every other area of their life, when it comes to their family, when it comes to relationships. Like, these are still 16-year-old boys that he was talking about at the end of the day. And in a lot of ways, they don't want to think about this illness unless they absolutely have to, and they want to be thinking about their dreams and the people they might have crushes on and stuff like that. And I think getting that bit of information too from that guy was so helpful in terms of reminding myself as an actor that it's so easy to, I think, get lost in the technicalities of what this illness might be and let that be the story, rather than bringing it always back to a really human place with this character, and just remembering that this is a part of his story, but this illness is not the entirety of his story in any type of way. Really, from the cast all the way through the entire crew, genuinely were so wonderful. And I think everyone had their own stake in the story as well, which just made it that much better. And it was such a kind of trusting, safe space to be in for that. And I think to be able to tell this story, you kind of need that. And that was really set by those other actors just as much as anybody, but really like those guys like Andy, like Walt and Molly, who have been doing this for a really long time, showing up and just really knowing how to go about this, and just being really so helpful throughout for me, because it is a lot to kind of have going on in my head all the time, and the days were long, and even if you have the greatest team and greatest producers and all that stuff in the world, it is what it is, and it can be really tough at times. But being able to look to them for support, and then likewise being able to look to like Pete and Mickey as well, like from all angles, having that there was so helpful.